Welcome to episode 8 of the We the Fans podcast. I'm Ron, that's Boomer. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Instagram and Facebook at We the Fans Network. Twitter at We the Fans _Ron. He's at Live with Boomer. And we're also on YouTube. The YouTube channel can be found on every one of our social media that I just mentioned. You could find a link there to the YouTube. And that's probably how you're watching this video in the first place. It's got to be the YouTube or Facebook. It's got to be the YouTube or Facebook, right? It's got to be one or the other. But if you're listening to the audio, that information's useful to you. So go ahead and use it. While you're there, subscribe, download, review, share. If you're on Facebook or social media, click that share button. It's one of the most important things. I don't care if you stop listening right now. Just hit one of those buttons, do one of those things. It's more important. To be completely honest with you. But if you are going to stick with us, Boomer, go ahead. You start, because I don't even know what to say. We're going to go into the Georgia-Alabama game. My intentions were to watch the whole game, but I thought it was going to be the primetime game, and it caught me by surprise when it was on already. I didn't know. So I caught the whole second half. But go ahead. You're the college football guy. I have a biased opinion about it. It was a great game, but go ahead.
I mean, yeah, it was a good game. Alabama did what they did to them last year, switched quarterbacks in the second half, and end up winning, and I don't know how. I don't get how it's even possible, but they go and do it. Tua looked like what Jalen Hurts looked like last year in the first half. Tua ended up getting hurt. Jalen Hurts comes in and starts making plays. Shows why you shouldn't just quit on a team and transfer mid-year. You might as well finish the year out before you transfer. He showed the real way to go about that, because he gets to transfer next year and he gets to go play on a team right away. And now tons of teams are going to want, now he's going to probably get a better team as well. Kelly Bryant that transferred from Clemson after like the third game of the year because the freshman was going to play. He's going to Missouri. Whoop de fucking do, man. Like, you're not going to make any name there. But besides that, I mean, it was classic last year's championship game, and there wasn't anything that great about it, I guess. I don't know, SEC football at its finest. The other team, the Alabama's getting beat by chokes in the end, and Alabama ends up winning. That's kind of how it always pans out whenever they're getting beat. Crazy.
It was crazy. But to just touch on something you said. You said that Jalen Hurts showed how it should be done, and with by not transferring and sticking with the program or whatever. I mean, very rarely is that the right choice. Realize where he is, what program he's in, who the coach is. As much as I can't stand him, I mean, he's arguably the greatest college football coach ever. Am I wrong?
Nah, he is the greatest college football coach.
So you don't leave that. That's a program you don't leave. But I think rarely is that really the right move, because a lot of these kids, if they do stay with the program, they're not going to get the second chance that Jalen Hurts got.
He's already had like 3 5-star quarterbacks leave that program.
Exactly.
From Alabama.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't say Jalen Hurts showed, how other kids should do it, because not every kid is in that situation and should stick around.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that, Kelly Bryant, he decided that he wanted to leave and quit on his team 3 games into the season.
That's different.
The next game, the quarterback who played in front of him got hurt. So Kelly Bryant could have played the next game, showed he deserved the starting spot.
Right.
Played out the year or transferred at the end of the year instead of just quitting and now doing nothing this season.
Agreed. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm okay with Jalen Hurts transferring, but you got to finish out the season. You went through spring camp, and Kelly Bryant was playing too. I don't know. I think there's one way to do it. I just think people now, it's instant gratification. Oh, I don't get to play. Well, I'm going to go somewhere where somebody else wants me and prove you wrong, and hardly
That's
ever does anybody ever prove anybody wrong.
That's the world now.
Yeah, well, I know.
Everybody has to be in their own little happy place. You know what I mean? Everybody has to get their way. The whole world's a bunch of brats. Let's put it that way. But it was a great game. I was really, really hoping. I mean, I knew Zach wasn't going to be here. So anybody who saw or listened to the show last week, even the week before that, knows that Zach is a Georgia Bulldog fan. And he didn't really think they were going to win, but thought they had a shot. And we raised the question last week, what if they did win, or if they kept the game within, one score, would there be an argument for them to be the first two-loss team to make the playoffs? I mean, they did keep it really close. They almost won the game. I wanted them to win so bad because I wanted to have that conversation, even though I'm not a college football fan, but it just goes to more of my point of why I'm not, because the whole system sucks. But yeah, it was a great game. Now, and what a great transition going into the next topic. Obviously, we're going to talk about the college football playoff and the 4 teams that did make it, and the 2 specifically that were finished 5 and 6. So obviously, Georgia didn't make it. They finished 4th, which I think makes absolute sense. I know the argument is there also for Notre Dame probably to not be in the top 4. Maybe they should have made the top 4. We all know I'm not a college football fan at this point, but I do know the argument against them. Just the weakness of the schedule they play and the teams that they have to go against. So maybe there is an argument there. Boomer, why don't you tell me your opinion?
Well, I mean, the argument, I don't think they ever deserve to be in the top 4.
Even though they're undefeated?
Yeah, what'd you say? Even if what?
Weren't they undefeated?
Oh, I'm talking about Georgia.
I'm talking about Notre Dame. Okay. I'm talking about the argument.
Notre Dame.
Right.
So I don't think that Notre Dame should ever be in the playoff until they get in the conference, because I said this last week. I said it's not fair that every team was playing somebody this week and they didn't have to play anybody. That's just not fair.
That was the biggest thing that stuck out to me.
They got to buy into the playoffs. That's what they got.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that stuck out to me about this weekend. Tuning in as someone who's basically coming in from the outside, the biggest thing that I noticed was Notre Dame was nowhere to be found, and they finished with the 4th spot, and that really, the third, right? The 3rd spot.
Yes.
Yeah, and that really, again, pushes more to my point of I need goddamn structure if I'm going to watch sports, and I can't watch college football. And I mean, I agree with what Mike said last week, too. I kind of just can't find a team because I don't know, how do you root for a school that you never went to or an area that you don't live in? And I know we said, you're in Iowa, so it's different for you, but we don't have college football out here in New York. It's not Texas. It's not Georgia.
Yeah, you got a sweet school of Rutgers.
Right. So listen. As of last week, I still thought Hofstra had a football team. I mean, hello.
They haven't had one for years.
I know, apparently, but yeah. So I don't know. I need structure. I need there to be more reasoning behind it. I agree with you. Strength of schedule should come more into play. Not being in a conference should come into play. You should have to play that last week. If everybody else has to play to get in, every team should have to play to get in. That should be an automatic disqualifier. I don't know how you write it, but somebody has to figure it out.
Well, the thing is that ESPN as a whole is a biased company to the SEC because they own the SEC network. So, of course,
I didn't know that.
Knowing Georgia doesn't get in to the top 4, guess what they do though? They put them 5th over Ohio State, even though Ohio State has 1 loss. They did that on purpose because they're ESPN, they're a fucking shit company, and they're going down the shitter, and they just do what they want. And I think it's stupid. I think the committee is stupid. I think they have the wrong people in there for the committee. They have people that are swayed by other strong personalities from ADs from big conferences. When Barry Alvarez was there, he swayed. Okay, I'm a Big Ten. I was in the Big Ten. Ohio State got in the first year by not even winning the Big Ten conference. They got beat by Penn State. Penn State won the conference, and Ohio State got in the playoff. Went on and won it all. Okay, but they didn't win it. But Barry Alvarez was one of the main guys then. He's the AD at Wisconsin. Used to be the head coach at Wisconsin, and he has big personality. He knows a lot about football. Well, he's obviously swayed the room to vote Ohio State in. So Ohio State gets into the playoffs, and that happens. Now, last year, 2 SEC teams got into the thing. I don't think that should even be possible, but that's because you got more SEC. Barry Alvarez isn't there anymore.
Right.
You have all SEC people in there, and the other people in the group, they're just getting swayed because they know football, but they don't know football. They're just letting other people dictate their opinions because a lot of the rankings, they have the highest lost 2-loss team, SEC, highest lost 3-loss team, SEC, highest ranked 4-loss team, SEC. That's not possible. The SEC isn't that good. Every year in the bowl season, which I think bowls are a little overblown and overrated, but every season,
I don't even know which one.
They don't do very good.
I don't know which bowl means more than the next bowl. What's the difference between the
bowls?
bowls?
Are stupid. They need to get rid of
They've
them.
always been stupid. They've always been stupid. And to your point, it should just be conference champions in the playoff. That's all. There shouldn't be 2 from a conference. Then what's the point of having a conference? For that, eliminate all the conferences, make a bunch of people play each other, and then go by strength of schedule and just do it that way. Right? Just have an open pool.
The schedule is all biased too. That's why it's stupid.
Well, let me ask you a question. What is the argument against UCF? Because 2 years in a row, I don't understand.
They don't play anybody. That's
but
if you put Iowa in the Big Ten for a while there, they were doing really good. They were a top 14 team in the nation, and then lost a couple against ranked teams because they've gone through the Big Ten gauntlet. Okay, you take Iowa, put them in UCF's schedule, who I don't think Iowa's that good. They probably go undefeated too. Now you're going to put them in just because they played nobody all year? That's not fair. Well,
shouldn't there be shouldn't they move up? Shouldn't they move somewhere? Shouldn't something happen?
They can schedule a top team in their off season. That's what they can do.
But they can't transfer. Compare. I played high school football, right? So that's what I'm comparing it to. And if your program gets better, you move up to the next division. Single A.
We don't do that in Iowa. We got classes, so you're either in 1A, 2A, 3A, or 4A, depending on the population of your school. You don't move up.
Oh, really?
If you're good at 3A, you just dominate 3A.
I went to private school. I went to Catholic high school.
I don't know how that works.
So it was different. But it was ranked single A, double A, triple A. Triple A was the bottom. I'm pretty sure. I might have that backwards. Who knows? But whatever. Let's say single A was the top, right? So we were. I think it's the other way around. Triple A is the best division. We were in triple A, but there were schools that when I was in high school was triple A. For example, was single or double A. More Catholic is one of them. I went to Monsignor Farrell, and a few years after I was out of school, Moore's football program got better. They wound up moving into single A and eventually into the triple A division. And that's because, they wind up recruiting better kids. The program gets better. And once they start getting better in their own division, they move up. There's nothing like that in college football?
No, because everything's a conference. So UCF 2 years ago won one game. And the year before that, they didn't win a single game.
But there's no way to qualify into a better conference?
If a conference wants to expand and they
that's the only way.
I think that's it. Rutgers didn't used to be in the Big Ten. The Big Ten wanted to expand.
Right. That was a few years ago.
For some reason, I don't know why.
What was that, 5 years ago?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a while ago now, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, I think it was longer than that. I think it was 8 years.
I think it was longer, yeah.
But anyway, so, they sent an invitation to Rutgers that they could join the Big Ten, which was stupid. Same with Maryland. I don't know why they did it for Maryland either. But you have to wait until some conference like the Big 12 could expand. They have to wait for somebody like that and then invite them to come to their conference. That's the only way they can really get to a conference. Now, if they would schedule, say, a good name, Big 10 or Big 12 or Pac 12 or SEC or ACC team, which there's nobody getting the ACC besides club, that conference is garbage shit. But if you would, schedule a big name and win convincingly, you might have a shot then later in the year.
Are they
two of them?
Are they avoiding it?
What?
Are they avidly avoiding doing that?
I mean, no, I don't. I can't say that because most of the time schedules are made 2-3 years in advance. And UCF used to be really bad, so you would think actually that good schools would have wanted the schedule because that's how it usually works. Alabama and Georgia, they schedule cupcakes. They only play 8 conference games. Big Ten plays 9 conference games, so they get an extra shitty game that they get to play that's a bye. So I don't know. I mean, it's all on, 2-3 years down the road, really, for the scheduling. So it's hard to say, but that's what they would have to do. They'd have to find either cancel a contract with somebody and try to get one with somebody else and play good, better competition before their conference is the only thing I can think of.
True. Well, that is another thing I need solved in college football then. Because you can't do rankings if you can't improve competition.
Yeah.
So, two things. NCAA needs to get on that. NCAA, probably the, I'd say third or fourth ranked thieves in sports. FIFA, the Olympic Committee, and the NCAA are probably top three.
Well, I think that the NCAA should have never sold the rights to ESPN like that. Like, that's just they're using a biased system, really.
Yeah.
It's not really fair, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
There's no fit in it now.
All right, let's move on from the amateurs to the professionals. All right. Actually, we're going to talk about something real quick that just really recently happened a few hours ago. Denver Broncos practice. Emmanuel Sanders. Probably, most likely, tore his Achilles, out for the year.
No, he did.
Oh, he did? It's
been announced, yeah.
Oh, then that probably just was announced because everything I read before said that.
I've been reading it on the TV. Well, I'm watching Duke Hartford, and it keeps coming across the bottom. He tore his Achilles for sure.
I'm watching 76ers Raptors.
I can't do him yet.
I actually also have. I was gonna switch back and forth from the hockey game, but I don't know where I put my remote. Emmanuel Sanders out for the rest of the year, possibly even next year, at least part of next year. Torn Achilles, that's rough to come back from. How old is Emmanuel Sanders right now?
He's got to be in his 30s for sure.
At least 31, right?
Yeah, I'd say lower 30s, 31, 32, 33 area. But not just that, but like Denver just can't catch a break. I get they went to Super Bowls with Peyton Manning, but since then they just can't catch a break, man. Paxton Lynch looked like he could be promising, huge bust. They said Chad Kelly looked really good, and he goes out and sober, gets in a fight with somebody, and goes into somebody's home randomly, so they cut him. Case Keenum isn't anything what he was at the Vikings. Emmanuel Sanders gets torn Achilles. None of the running backs have panned out besides the free agent that they signed in Philip Lindsay, which is amazing. So that helps. But
Sanders is 31.
They're finally on a winning streak, and it's over.
Yeah, that's it. It's done. Their season's over. They only have rookie wide receivers now. They only have rookie wide receivers. Their defense looked, as usual, great at the beginning of the year. They kind of evened out a little bit recently in the second half of the season, but still a good defense. But they don't have it on offense anymore to carry them. They're going to have to ride Lindsey hard. And it's not...
You find out how old he was?
31, I said. 31.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was right. But there goes their season. I don't think any of us had them making the playoffs anyway, right? None of us said the Broncos.
No.
Yeah.
No, nobody did.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But yeah, that just happened today. Let's go back to some things that happened this past weekend. So, the Redskins started Mark Sanchez after Colt McCoy was hurt. So they've gone from Alex Smith to Colt McCoy, whose name we haven't heard in a couple years, to Mark Sanchez, whose name we've heard a little recently with the Eagles and Cowboys. He's played for every team in the NFC East now.
That's true. Didn't think of that.
Yeah. He also...
No, he didn't play for the Giants, did he?
Oh, no, he didn't play for the Giants. You're right.
Jets.
What's his name went to the Giants? The other... Geno Smith was back at the Giants, yeah. But he also had the butt fumble with the Jets and had the butt recovery on Sunday. I don't know if you saw that one. Fumbled the ball, and defender went down on top of him, and he grabbed it and pinned the ball against his ass with his hand and recovered it that way. So good for Mark Sanchez. Butt fumble recovery. And now Jay Gruden came out and said that they discussed bringing in Kaepernick, but they decided to bring in Josh Johnson. Apparently he was there with him in Cincinnati, whatever. I don't know, some excuse. But people still need to understand bringing in Colin Kaepernick on a football team first of all, the attention that it's going to get, nobody wants it for a backup quarterback. I always compare it to Tim Tebow. It's the same reason why he's not in the league, even though obviously Kaepernick is a lot better than Tim Tebow. That's not saying much. But he's a backup quarterback. Nobody wants the attention. That, and there's only a few games left in the season. The season's lost already. That's even more of a reason to not want the attention. I don't understand bringing in Josh Johnson, though. That really confused me. I honestly thought Kellen Clemens was going to be the guy. I thought they were going to bring in Kellen Clemens, who also backed up Mark Sanchez at the Jets. But that's also because Kellen Clemens was on a roster last year. I think Kellen Clemens even played. I forgot where he was, but he played. He had playing time last year. So Josh Johnson was kind of just a weird pick to me, unless you tie it back to Jay Gruden on the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally they just are willing to almost sign whoever is like wanting to take like the least amount of money, get them in, and be like whatever. Like I don't think it matters who the backup quarterback is. I'm not even going to talk about that other idiot. He doesn't deserve to be talked about at all. I mean, there's other good quarterbacks that are out there you could probably get. You still got Sam Bradford out there. So
True.
I mean, who's better than all of those guys?
Yeah, but he'll probably get hurt anyway.
Would you still have a shot at the conference championship or division or conference, whatever?
Yeah, what?
They do.
You still talking college?
Huh?
You still talking college?
The division. So if you still have a chance at the division, you think you'd go after somebody good like Bradford and maybe try and give yourself a shot. He's obviously better than Mark Sanchez. He's probably better than Colt McCoy. But yeah, I just don't know. E.J. Manuel's out there too. Probably better than all those guys.
Josh Johnson hasn't thrown a pass since 2011.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It's so weird.
There's a couple Josh Johnsons though. Is it the right one?
Yeah, it's the Josh Johnson that went from Tampa Bay and then was backing up in Cincinnati. It's that Josh Johnson. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird pick. It's a really weird pick. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
He last threw a pass as the member of the Bucks. Jesus. What? I don't know what they're thinking. Honestly, if Kaepernick didn't have so much attention, to him, he might actually be the right guy to bring in because there's no one else out there.
No. Never. Doesn't deserve on a single roster in this world. Doesn't even deserve to be talked about.
Well, then with that being said, let's move on. Alright. You can go ahead and gloat. We're going to talk about the Green Bay Packers. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Go ahead. Say your piece.
I mean, what do you want? I mean, I've been trying to tell you guys this about Aaron Rodgers, and like I said, just like I told people about Popovich, people are against Popovich now. It's coming on Rodgers now. He's 35. He's not aging well like Brady and Breeze and those guys. He's obviously doesn't have the attitude to be a team leader. He's more cares about himself. They caught him rolling his eyes at play calls. He's got a new coach.
Changing him.
Outside linebacker coach makes a comment just saying people need to be held accountable. It gets fired. Like,
he's out. He's out.
A piece of shit. You know that.
The franchise is invested in Aaron Rodgers, not invested in Mike McCarthy or the linebackers coach.
Well, then you're never going to be good. You give somebody that kind of power, you're never going to be good. That's why the Patriots have been great for 18 years. Brady don't have that kind of power.
Yes, he does.
No, he does not.
Yes, he does.
If Brady rolled his eyes at a Bill Belichick play, Bill Belichick wanted to trade his ass for one. And Robert Kraft.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Not get carried away.
I forgot about that, actually. I forgot he did want to trade him. I forgot Jimmy G should still be a Patriot right now.
yeah, exactly.
I forgot. So should, what's his name, in Indianapolis? What's his name? The backup. Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett, yeah.
He should still be a Patriot, too. Belichick wanted him.
You don't have that power. You can't give all your power to a player like that. It just nuts because no other player respects it now. Like
I think McCarthy had to go though.
Forever.
McCarthy had to go though. McCarthy had to go.
I don't disagree, but what's it matter if you do it now or at the end of the season?
Because we don't know this, but I'm sure the animosity was building. I'm sure the tension was building.
Until Rodgers came out and was like, I was surprised by him getting let go. I can't believe it. Why would that happen?
Because it's the media, bro.
Aaron Rodgers said it.
I know. To who, though?
Well, yeah, press conference.
Because you have to. Yeah, you know what happens if you tell the truth to these people. You can't do it.
No, I would. I'd tell him to go F himself.
And you wouldn't have a job either.
Aaron Rodgers has a job.
True, yeah. But he wouldn't if he started doing that.
Nobody's letting go a $30 million quarterback. He can say whatever the hell he wants.
True. So, the Cowboys beat the Saints, boom.
Yeah, what'd I tell you?
So, check this out. The Rams beat the Cowboys. The Saints beat the Rams. And the Cowboys beat the Saints. So, who's the best team in the NFL? Because I have no idea anymore.
Cowboys are nowhere near it.
They're not. They're not. But it does say something for them taking down the Saints. I mean, whatever the Rams, they didn't have Amari Cooper. Right? The Cowboys didn't have Amari Cooper when they played the Rams, correct? No. That was earlier in the year. Like I said last week, they're a different animal with Amari Cooper. It's a different team. I still think Dak sucks. I'm still on that. The defense still isn't that great, even though they have been playing well. They played a great game.
Their defense is the only reason they're good. You're nuts.
They played a perfect game against the Saints. Their defense is good. It's not great. Their defense is very good. Their defense is good enough to have them where they are. You're absolutely right. I just got a notification we might be getting cut off in 10 minutes. But yeah, they're a threat now. Let's put it that way. They've shown that they can play against anybody by doing what they did to the Saints. Drew Brees, for fantasy football reasons, only had 9 points last week. I know this because I went from 4th place to 5th place. The good news is that it wouldn't have mattered because no matter what, I would still be playing the same person. So that's good. But going back to the Cowboys, like I said last week, they're going to win that division. Especially with all the stuff going on with Washington. Philly can't get it together and the Giants are out. So them winning that game solidifies that for me. And that's really it. I mean, I still think the Saints are going to the Super Bowl. I'm not wavering off that.
I think the Cowboys still win the division, but I think Philly beats Dallas this weekend.
That could happen. I mean, I always say any division game could go any way. I never count any division game out. Moving on to crazy game. I just wanted to talk about this because there's some stats that came out of this game that are just kind of nuts. The Bears and Giants game. Did you watch it at all, Boomer?
Just when it was on the red zone. Like, I didn't flip over to it or anything. It's not, neither team would I ever care to watch,
So, I don't know if you know these stats, right? Do you know how many 40-yard touchdown passes Eli Manning has this season?
This season?
Yeah.
6.
0. Do you know how many 40-yard touchdown passes Odell Beckham has this season?
Oh, 1 now.
2. I was on the Eli train before the season started, but I think it's over. That train has broken down on the tracks. Pull the car over. Call the tow truck. It's over. It's been there.
Put it in. You paid for a car on the side of the road.
Put that thing in the garage. Put the cover over it. Kiss it goodnight. Turn the lights off and go in the house because we're not touching that thing anymore. It may be time for the Giants even to see what they got with their backup quarterbacks. I mean, Kyle Lauletta is an asshole and gets arrested right when his time kind of looked like it was coming. But I think you got to put the kid in regardless and just see what you can do. That's it. I mean, I think it's over for Eli with just these last few games left. But Tariq Cohen also threw a touchdown, and not just any touchdown, threw a touchdown to tie the game and send it into over. No, to take the lead. Was it to take the lead?
I think it was tie.
It was to tie the game and send it into overtime, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Then that was a crazy play. Everybody's calling it the Philly special. That wasn't no Philly special. That was awesome. Matt Nagy, what a play call. Balls on that guy.
Yeah, he's the only reason Mitch Trubisky's any good.
He is.
Mitch Trubisky's still garbage.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And the last thing I want to talk about, congratulations to the city of Seattle after being spurned by the NBA. No more Supersonics, but they will be getting the 32nd franchise in the NHL. Congratulations to the city of Seattle. You got any team names off the top of your head, Boomer? I have no idea.
I don't know why the NHL would expand more. If I was them, I'd want to
Great
stay
move.
smaller.
Great move. It worked.
No.
It worked in Vegas. Vegas is huge, especially they went to the Stanley Cup in their first season. Come on, you were watching hockey last season, Boomer.
Everything works in Vegas.
Seattle's going to work. It's a cold weather city. Cold weather city. It's going to work. It'll be fine. I bet you people play hockey already in Seattle. We may be getting cut off any minute now, so let's just cut it off ourselves. Follow us on all the social media. I mentioned it all at the beginning of the show. At @WeTheFans_Ron on Twitter. That's me. Boomer at Live with Boomer. At We the Fans Network on Facebook and Instagram. If you like the show, share, subscribe, rate, review, download. See you next week. Fins up. Let's go Rangers. Let's go Knicks. Yankees, we lost out on Corbin.
I still wanted to talk about what you thought if Urban Meyer's ever going to coach again.
How old is he?
54?
Yes.
Pro or college?
College.
I think he's going to be offensive coordinator or something in the pros.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll leave you with that prediction. See you next week.
Blame.